For many Indians, settling in the United States is a lifelong dream, offering better career opportunity, higher salary, and a chance for a more secure future. However, getting a United States green card is not easy. Indians on H-1B and L-1 visas often face years of waiting, visa backlogs, and uncertainty as well. Some families are forced to live apart, and many cannot even visit their home country in emergencies due to visa restriction. While thousands of Indian professionals struggle with these limitations, some really wealthy Indians have found a shortcut. They are simply buying their way to the green card through EB5 Visa Program. Let me tell you why EB5 Visa Program is so special. Now, this particular visa is a special immigration program that allows rich investors to get US permanent residency in exchange for investing a large sum of money in American businesses. To qualify, an applicant must invest between $8 lakh to $1 crore $50,000 in the United States project and create at least 10 full-time jobs for American workers. Unlike the H-1B visa, which requires employer sponsorship, has a strict lottery system and it takes decades to get a green card. But EB5 applicants can receive their US permanent residency within just 6 to 8 months. Now, this makes it much more attractive option for those who can simply afford it. For years, Indians on H-1B visa have struggled with long wait time and strict visa regulations. Many of them spend around 10 to 20 years waiting for their green cards with no guarantee of the approval in near future as well. Some even face a tragic personal situation as well. Pregnant women are sometimes forced to leave the US for medical care, families remain separated for years, and workers are stuck in uncertain jobs without knowing what is their future in the country. On the other hand, there are wealthy Indians with enough funds who can simply skip all these problems by investing through the EB5 program, getting their permanent residency very easily. Many of these wealthy investors put their money into projects that qualify for EB5 funding. Some of the biggest recipients of EB5 investment include Glades County, Florida, a small Jewish community that is receiving around $100 million in EB5 funds for housing developments. Other EB5 backed projects include a drug rehabilitation center in Colorado, flour mill in Oregon, and a cobble processing plant in Missouri. The main idea behind this program is that foreign investors will bring money into underdeveloped areas in the United States, creating jobs for Americans, and in return, they get a green card. However, over the years, some developers and investors have found loopholes in the system, and they have used EB5 funds to build projects in wealthy urban areas instead of rural communities. One of the most controversial examples is the Hudson Yards in New York City, a luxury real estate project that was developed under EB5 funds. Even though Houston Yards is one of the richest areas in Manhattan, developers rigged the entire system by stretching sensor map into weird shapes to include poorer neighborhood, making it qualify for EB5 funding. Because of such manipulations, wealthy foreign investors were able to get green cards at very discounted rates, while the original goal of helping rural areas was completely ignored. Now, to fix these issues, the US government introduced new rules in 2022 to ensure that the program benefits underdeveloped areas. Under the new guidelines, 20% of EB5 visas are now reserved for rural areas, and stricter tracking measures have been introduced to prevent the misuse. More funding is now directed to smaller towns and less developed regions instead of just major metropolitan cities. But for middle-class Indians, the H-1B struggle continues. They still have to go through the visa lottery, long backlogs, and sponsorship challenges with no guarantee of getting a permanent residency. But for the wealthy Indians, EB5 provides an easier and much faster path to the American dream. No waiting line for decades, no fear of visa rejection, and no dependency on employers. Now, this raises an important question. Is this system fair or not? Should the US immigration process favor only those who can afford to pay their way in? What about the thousands of Indian workers who contribute to the US economy but are stuck in an endless visa backlog? Now you tell me, if you had $8 lakh, would you invest in EB5 to get a US green card? Or do you think that US should reform its immigration policy to make the system fairer for all? Let us know your thoughts.